Okay, everyone, you're joining us again here on Championship Drill. This is our first midweek show after the first lot of midweek games. Jerry and Phil are here as always. How are you guys?
Very good.
All good.
So I suppose we'll just start out with midweek football. It was great to have it back, wasn't it? To have a few games, be able to watch a few live games.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch any Champions League this week. I just watched the Championship.
Yeah. I just had to watch. Yeah. I was just watching the United game, but that's just. Besides that, I had the night on Sheffield Wednesday last night was pretty good.
Yeah. And Jerry, on the other night you were watching Liverpool, I suppose.
I was. If it wasn't for Fabinho, we would have been defeated 3-0. I'd say Fabinho was the star man, thankfully.
And the night before, obviously, we had the Norwich game on, so you would have got to see some of that at least.
Yeah, no, it was a good game.
So it's good that way. So I was able to watch a few more matches that way. But it's good to have the football back, isn't it? And seeing the highlights and the goals and anything can happen midweek.
Yeah, any result can happen midweek is crazy.
And then they play again a couple of days later, and then they're going again.
That's the way it should be, Steve.
Yeah. You know,
They'll be paid enough.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be playing like 4 games in a week or something, or 6 games in 2 weeks or something mad like that.
That's the way it should
be. Crazy out there, or 5 games in 2 weeks maybe. And the big game Friday, I suppose we should look ahead to before we go into the midweek results. This is going to be, what day are we today, guys? Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday record. Handy if I knew what day it was. So this will probably come out on Thursday, so the game will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
As they call it locally now, the El Clásico, as a nod to the El Clásico, the East Midlands derby between Derby and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest at home for this one. One of the big derbies in England. I mean, it goes way back, well over 100 years. Yeah. Back into I think the 1880s was the first time they played each other.
It's some rivalries in the 80s when Clough was around.
Yeah.
And I think they play for the Brian Clough Trophy now as well, obviously, because he's a legend of both clubs.
Yeah.
It's great to have these big derbies, though, isn't it, in the Championship? And it's rated as one of the biggest derbies across Europe as well. But it is such a classic derby game, and the fans really don't get along. They really don't like each other. It is a big deal for whoever wins it.
Just as well the fans are banned from the stadium.
Yeah. And we have it. I mean, it's kind of like there hasn't been a lot of goals in these games the last few years. I think derbies, the last one was 1-1, I remember, earlier this season, or earlier last season, or when it came back, or whenever the game was on, I believe it was 1-1. Which was the first time Derby had scored a goal in like 5 games in this match. But before that, there was a few 0-0s. There was a couple of 1-0 wins for Forest. Very few goals, but that might change hopefully tomorrow night.
Yeah, I was thinking there would be a lot of goals. There's going to be a lot of goals in it.
Yeah, I think so. It's the year of the underdogs. I think I've said it. The underdogs of every sport will shine as long as COVID's around. But it's just, I think we're going to see goals. I think it's like one of them training games where they'll hit goals for fun, and I'm hoping it's a 4-2 game.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Forest, they could have bought me up 4 points in 2 games under Luton. Easy known as an Irish connection here, the luck of the Irish, It's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to it.
The only thing after watching Forest, you're like so many chances and they just cannot score.
A lot of chances they can't score. Yeah, we'll go into that game there later on. But obviously, Derby, we talked about it at the weekend. If they were to lose to Huddersfield, the pressure that will be on in this game tomorrow night, and they go out midweek and they lose to Huddersfield. I know the board stuck by Kaku and whatever the owners did, but I mean, it puts huge pressure. Derby also they slip underneath Barnsley and drop into relegation on goal difference at the moment.
Yeah, well,
there's only a point between the 2 teams as well.
Yeah.
So it's a massive game for Derby, especially, you'd imagine.
Well, you said it, I think it was the last episode, Steve, you said it, like Huddersfield are the dark horses. They're slowly kicking on.
They're close, slowly going about their business.
Yeah, they're ninth in the table, like, you know what I mean? They're slowly coming up, like, and that's when a team with dangerous, like, they're only 1 point off that top 6, like.
Yeah, they're getting there, but Derby, I mean, if Kaku was to go out and they were to lose, probably won't happen, but let's say they were hammered, like they lost 3-0, 4-0 on Friday night in the Derby game. I mean,
he's gone.
I know the owner is not blaming him, he's sticking with his man, but I mean, they've lost what? How many games they in now? 6 games? Lost 5 games?
Lost 5.
Lost 5, 1-1.
Yeah.
And if they were to lose the Derby game, to lose 6 of their first 7 games, being
Gone.
beaten by your closest
But
rivals.
they're also very close to Sheffield Wednesday, who were -12.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'll come to Wednesday a bit later. Very unlucky.
And Rooney's in the bad books now, so he won't get the manager's job.
Well, he's doesn't he have to isolate because something.
He has to isolate, and we'll come to that kind of crazy situation where he tested negative, but is still going to miss 3 games.
Yeah.
As it is, but we'll see what happens with Rooney when he comes back in, probably midweek next week or the weekend after. Maybe he'll be the manager by the time he gets to play again.
Stay away from it, Wayne. Stay away from it.
But we'll move into the games anyway. Tuesday night, Bristol City home to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough going away with the 1-0 win there. Saville with the goal from Borough with the only real shot on target. I think there was another one earlier in the game.
Yeah.
That was on target that the keeper saved after a massive deflection. Bristol City's first defeat of the season as well.
They were very unlucky that there wasn't a penalty at the end of the game.
Yeah. McNair's push on Bakinson.
That could have been given any day.
Yeah, they're going to be very disappointed, don't they, with the goal they gave away?
Oh, yeah.
Moore just tried to overplay it at the back, and Saville took it off him, and that was that. But, yeah, overall, I suppose, Borough slowly as well, like you talked about Huddersfield a minute ago, Jerry, slowly going about it. Huddersfield are the same. They're slowly climbing up that table.
And they have a good manager as well. No, I was just saying they have a good manager as well.
Yeah. It's like Bristol City have realised they were top of the league and everything was going so well, and now it's like they froze. The international break, as you said, lads, it changes everything.
Yeah,
massive. It changes mentality when you come back as well.
It is. When you think Bristol City 4 wins out of 4 going into it, 1 point from 2 games since it.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference.
There was a great statistic before the game. There was, they asked thousands of people who'd win the game.
Yeah.
And 44% of the people said Bristol. There was 42% said a draw and 14% said Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
So it goes to show.
It's crazy because you would have had the money, I suppose, on Bristol City. Definite penalty though, like we said, so they can count themselves unlucky a bit there.
Yeah.
The push in the back. So then there was a game that was kind of an interesting one, Coventry and Swansea. Another point for Coventry. They're going to try and pick up as many as they can, I suppose, get saved from relegation as early as they can. Shipley put Coventry 1 up. IU again for Swansea.
Yeah.
Both teams had great chances. O'Hare had a few good ones for Coventry. He probably should have done better with.
Yeah.
Draw, probably a fair result though. It was an even enough game. And two made goals.
Yeah.
The
first goal was really good.
Yeah, I'd have to watch Shipley's goal again. I still don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
The ball seemed to go. It was like, those old plastic balls you'd buy in the shop for a pound or €1 or whatever. And you'd hit it with the outside of your foot, but it would curve the other way for some reason.
Yeah.
He pretty much did that with the football. I don't know how he did it.
Yeah.
It seemed to defy physics, whatever way he hit the ball. It seemed to go the opposite way it should have.
He read the Roberto Carlos book, I think.
Yeah.
But again, Coventry were very good at home. They always will be, like, every...
Yeah.
I love Coventry, lads. When it's all said and done, next year, hopefully, we'll get over to a Coventry again.
Yeah. And maybe it's something about Birmingham have been decent enough at home as well. And Coventry, of course, play their home games in that stadium. So maybe there's something about playing in Birmingham that makes the home teams good. And Villa, of course, flying in the Premier League as well. Maybe they're the water in Birmingham these days.
Yeah.
We'll move on then to the game we were talking about there a minute ago, Huddersfield Derby. Bakuna with the goal for Huddersfield. So much pressure now on Kaku in the East Midlands Derby coming up. But the owner backed him in a weird way. He was saying, look, it's not Kaku's fault. It's not the tactics. It's not the training. It's not the players. We've had injuries up front. Rooney had to have a COVID test. It tested negative, but for some reason still has to isolate and miss 3 games. And so it's a tricky one. Huddersfield, though, looking very good. Their goal was very good, and they look slow. We talked about the weekend. They just seem to look so well drilled now under the manager.
Yeah, they are. There's a guy there called Jonathan Hogg. He's a great player, great engine in him. He's doing a lot of damage there for Huddersfield at the moment. Pippa, he's not a bad defender either. And there's a lad called Naby Serre. I wonder is he related to the Serre that plays with Watford.
He's quality.
They're going about it nicely.
But Corberan, the job he's done there, it's amazing what he's done, isn't it?
Yeah. He's incorporated that kind of Spanish kind of, European style.
Yeah. I mean, the goal they scored was something that you'd nearly see Barcelona do. The way they just passed and moved the ball around.
Yeah.
It was a
I
brilliant
actually
goal.
didn't think it would take this long to get them going like this, to be fair.
Yeah, and he's got to get massive credit for that, and he's done very well.
Well, it was
for them.
actually like gives a ballsy move to put him in there.
It was, and I was. I suppose he'd been at Leeds before their current manager. He'd been a coach there. He worked through the coaching system. He became his assistant manager. Leeds got promoted. Leeds are going into the Premier League. So it was kind of a ballsy move from the manager as well to decide to leave Leeds to take over Huddersfield rather than be that assistant in the Premier League.
This is his first ever job.
I think he's managed before. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly, but I think he has. But it was kind of a big move on his part to say, look, I'm gonna take it on. I'm gonna take on Huddersfield, who struggled last season.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna leave Leeds.
Yeah.
I suppose it shows what kind of a character he is, I suppose.
Yeah.
And Huddersfield have to be delighted now with the appointment, because it's one of those start of season you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought this was, again, we come to a later in performance of the week, Milwall against Luton. Crane OG, Mahoney for Milwall, and Milwall just destroyed them. I mean, this could have been 8-0.
Oh yeah.
Millwall, I haven't seen them play that well in years.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as I said, like Luton are going to go flat down.
What, did they have 3 wins out of 3, now 3 defeats in a row? Something like that?
I reckon it'll be continue. I think they'll lose again at the weekend.
Yeah, it's a tricky one for them. But what about Millwall? Matt Smith, who started the last couple of games, he's always going to be good and dangerous in the air.
Yeah.
And he put in some shift yesterday. I know he didn't get on the score sheet, but to have him still around at the club, still doing what he's doing for Millwall is amazing.
Yeah, he's unreal. Unreal. Mahoney as well is like Gary Rowe was on about him, that he could be as good as anyone.
Yeah, they're a great club, lads. They're a great club.
Once they get Parrott back as well, they'll be flying it. Like.
Yeah, they get Parrott back, and if he can settle and he can start scoring, you're looking at a player that could get them 10, 15 goals after Christmas.
Yeah.
And that could be a huge difference in them making the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have a gem as well, centre back. He man Jay Cooper. He's unreal. He's no nonsense.
Very good.
You know what I mean? He's a very good defender. Like, but Millwall are a great club. Like I think it'd be great for the game alone to see them back in the Premier League in another year or two, especially when the fans are back.
Yeah.
Imagine being drawn away against Millwall.
Yeah.
And bring the young kid over with you, like.
It's been so long since Millwall have been there.
Well, the only thing people realise is with West Ham and Millwall is that green streaks.
Yeah. Millwall, I remember Millwall playing in the top division. I can remember that far back.
Is that late 80s? Late 80s?
In the 80s, yeah. They were flying in the league in the 95, 96 season, I think it was, or maybe it was around there. Yeah. I think it was the 95, 96 season. Mick McCarthy was the manager. They were top of the championship. Everything was looking good. Ireland came in. Mick left, went to Ireland, and Millwall just nosedived after Mick left. And I don't think they've had as good a chance of going up since. They've had a few years where they've come close to the playoffs or missed out on that, and last season they did pretty well. They were pushing for it for a long time, but this year seems like it could be their year.
Yeah,
it's the same when Mick leaves any club, lads, it sinks.
Yeah, and he's not shy about telling you that either. So, when you look at what's happened to Ipswich since he's left there,
even Sunderland.
That's it, Sunderland as well, and we won't mention Wolves because they're kind of doing all right.
Yeah.
Norwich, Birmingham, 1-0 win for Norwich here. Vrancic, Ida with the assist, if you can call it that. It kind of more hit off him than anything.
Yeah.
Then this was one of the live games we got to watch the other night. Cantwell was very, very good.
Yeah.
But he missed some chances. He could have had 6 goals.
All his players were raging at him because he should have passed a few of those.
There was a few of them where he should have passed. There was one that was particularly funny, where he went down in the box, dived in the box. The play kind of broke to him. Somehow the ball came to him while he was lying on the floor, and he jumped up quickly and shot, even though he was lying in agony about 5 seconds before that.
Yeah.
And put it just wide. He did score a goal.
It was disallowed
in the second half, which was ruled out rightly for offside.
Yeah.
And, I suppose at the end of the day, Birmingham, Clayton got sent off for 2 yellow cards very late on in the game.
I think it was a red. I think it was.
Yeah. I mean, there's 2 yellows, and the second one was definitely yellow. He knew it himself.
Yeah.
But they conceded right after he was sent off with only about 2-3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And they just lost their shape a little. I mean, it probably was a draw they wouldn't have deserved.
No.
But
Scott Hogan should be doing a lot better up front for Birmingham. He's a good striker, he should be doing a lot more, you know.
Yeah. He doesn't score that many goals these days.
No, I mean their final ball was just atrocious.
Yeah.
You know, when they did get possession, and they didn't have it a lot because Norwich were very good. They just didn't seem to be able to find a way through. And when they did, they just missed so many chances.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think Birmingham though will be okay. I mean, they were right in the game the whole way. They couldn't get that final pass right. So they live to fight another day, I suppose. Then Nottingham Forest won, Rotherham won. Barlaser for Rotherham. Sammy Amiobi with reply for Forest.
Amiobi
looking good.
Yeah. If I was Chris Hughton, I'd be going absolutely nuts with the amount of chances that
they're missing.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of chances.
Crazy amount.
Rotherham had their chances as well. I think Forest will probably feel they should have won the game.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, all in all, Rotherham were decent enough to deserve a draw.
Yeah.
In that one, but Forest definitely had the better of the chances.
100%. Like Amiobi, we all remember Amiobi's brother. I think he played at Newcastle. He's up there with Alan Shearer when it comes to Newcastle legends. But Forest definitely look like they're on the up already. Newton's kind of changed it. They're definitely creating more chances. They just look like a team you want to watch again.
Yeah, and that's kind of big going into Friday night because they can really deliver a hammer blow to Derby now, which they'd love. But at the same time, if Derby were to go and beat Forest, you know, suddenly they'll climb above Forest and it could be a bit of doom and gloom around Forest again. Rotherham, though, are having a very solid season.
Yeah. One win, kind of one loss kind of a thing.
That kind of a thing, yeah. And they're picking up the odd points here and there, which they're going to need. If survival, I suppose, is still the main aim for Rotherham this season.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of surprised that Salier's on the bench. Surprised he's not starting. Maybe it's a match fitness thing now. I don't know, but like
he's a bit in and out of the team, and you know he does okay when he comes in. So I don't know. Maybe there is a fitness thing there we're not aware of. Maybe he's not fully up to it at the moment, or maybe he's just not up to playing 3 games in a week anymore.
Yeah, and Ogilbenny obviously still. We said it last week. Ogilbenny's a huge loss.
He's going to be a big loss for them. And I mean, you're probably looking at like February before he's back.
Yeah,
if not later. Reading then, who go top of the league with another win for them. Lucas João, great way he took that. The way he controlled that ball.
That goal was quality. That might be my favourite goal of the weekend.
It was very good. Wycombe were unlucky. They just didn't take their chances again. But I think this was probably one of their better performances.
I don't know why they keep trying to shoot from outside the box.
Yeah, they seem to want to always score from it.
Yeah, like they took a lot of long shots, and I don't know why yet. It's just if
there
they
was one again near the end where it was launched forward to Akinfenwa, and he competed for it. The ball more hit him in the back of his head when he wasn't looking.
Yeah.
And went down to the Wycombe player, and again, like you said, from outside the box, he had a shot which, you know, he missed. But I think Wycombe had they deserved a draw, really. I mean, they probably had the better chances in the game.
Yeah.
But they have to start taking them, but they will surely get that win. But Reading, again, flying it.
Yeah.
Like they've got now 5 wins and a draw in the first 6.
Perfect start.
Yeah.
You know? So they're flying it. They're going to be delighted with that one.
But to get that win again after the international break is really, really important.
And it's tough, I mean, like Bristol, they got the point at the weekend, and then now they're back with a win again. But Wycombe, they're going to get that win eventually, aren't they? They can't lose every game this season, can they?
I've never seen it happen before, so I don't know.
Not a chance.
They have to win eventually, surely.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be this weekend. Who knows? There'll be mad celebrations. Cardiff against Bournemouth. Solanke with the goal for Bournemouth. Before Wilson. I think it was his first start, wasn't it, since he joined?
Yeah, first game,
with a leveller for Cardiff. Bournemouth started really well, but Wilson probably could have put Cardiff in front after about 18 seconds.
Yeah.
When he shot wide.
Yeah. He also fired for that one.
Smitty's in the Cardiff goal, though. Solanke had a chance, and I still don't know how he saved it.
Yeah.
It is the save of the season. I don't think there's any save anywhere in the world is going to be better than it this season. I have no idea how he managed to save that ball.
Yeah,
I'd say Solanke is still wondering how it didn't go in.
Yeah.
But I mean, that would have been 2-0 at the time, and that probably would have been over. So that to me was the big turning point in that game, really.
Yeah.
Wilson looked very good though. He had a lot of chances. His shooting wasn't the greatest at times, but he did get the goal in the end. Missed a few chances. What did he? About 8 goals last season for Bournemouth in the league.
Yeah.
So
I reckon he'll get over 10 this season, definitely.
Yeah. So it's a great start for him.
Yeah.
Hit the ground running that way. Solanke, you know.
But how Wilson? I know. Solanke really should have kicked off for Liverpool. He did obviously at Bournemouth. He kicked off towards the end of last season. I think he's going to do well in the Championship. But lads, how Harry Wilson is back in the Championship with Cardiff is beyond me.
It's criminal,
man, it's a catastrophe. Yeah. Like he was actually at Bournemouth last year and he done so well. He scored around 8 goals there.
Yeah.
Like how Wilson's young enough.
He's 23, I'd say, 22.
23, yeah, I mean, he's at an age now where he should be playing in the Premier League.
I thought he would have got him.
Like Liverpool, there was talks he was going to stay at Liverpool and fight for his, like a first team spot, but how he did not join a Premier League team is beyond me.
Yeah, he looked very good.
Like a West Brom league,
yeah, and I mean, you know, maybe that'll be the plan for Liverpool if they don't see him long-term playing for them. If he goes and does really, really well for Cardiff, his price suddenly shoots up and they can flog him for, 20, 25 million to somebody.
It's mad how he didn't get that move to the Premier League.
Yeah, it's crazy, but Cardiff will be happy to have him. And Cardiff and Bournemouth, both teams really having good seasons so far.
Yeah.
So they'll be happy with that. Thank God for penalties in the next one's all I can say. QPR 0, Preston 2. Johnson Sinclair with the penalties. Eze was back at QPR. I don't know how he was allowed in the ground, but he was. He was there watching the match at his old club. Evan Friend, the first penalty was a bizarre one, but again, I know we talk about VAR getting things, wrong or right or whatever, but it's great to see when two officials just talk to each other and get the decision right.
Yeah, that's what we ran about last week.
The goal was about 2 yards in the box. It was clearly inside the penalty box.
But we ran about that last week.
Yeah, the referee was behind it and he gave a free kick. And the linesman was communicating. You could see the referee listening in his earpiece, and the linesman was telling him it was inside the box. And I think you could almost see the ref mouthing it was inside the box. The linesman obviously told him it was, and then he changed his mind and gave the penalty, which was a penalty. So it was fair play to the officials for changing their mind without the need of VAR.
Yeah.
That's a big thing, all right?
Big, huge thing. Jesus. VAR the Championship, lads.
It would ruin it, ruin.
Yeah, so DJ Johnson got the goal there from that penalty. Sinclair with the one later on. Sinclair's 450th game, apparently, in professional football last night as well. So well done to him. That's some amount of games he's after racking up for a guy that,
Did he play with Man City at one time?
He did, yeah.
He was all over the show. But honestly, like Adamoah nearer the end had broke through for QPR, and he shot wide, kind of clipped the outside the post. But other than that, it looked like if the teams were still playing right now and still playing into next week, they weren't going to score from open play.
Yeah.
They just looked really bad. Maguire was off the bench for their new Danish striker. He did well. He won the first penalty, but he had a chance as well where he must have been about 7 yards out when it fell to him, and he put it about 26 yards wide.
Yeah.
So it's a strange one because neither team looked like they were going to score goals. Won't play last night, and Preston really seemed like they're never going to score from open play. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, they just look
really struggling.
They look so sluggish and kind of lacking energy.
Yeah, it's like they play the wrong kind of football for who they have up front. At times it seems like when they have Maguire up front, and we know Maguire is going to fight and he's going to battle for everything, but Maguire is not a big man, and they seem to launch the ball up towards his head for some reason and expect him to be able to do something with it. Now, the Danish lad is a bit taller, so maybe he'll have more luck with that. But it seems to be when Brown and Maguire, whoever, where they interplay and it lets the wingers, Broekhuizen or Sinclair or somebody, go beyond the forward. That seems to be when they're most dangerous. But they don't seem to be doing that enough this season.
Yeah.
And they have a good manager, lads. Like Preston, he's a great manager. Like.
Yeah. QPR having a bit of an up and down season, like you'd say, Phil. They kind of seem to win one, lose one.
Yeah, the same thing. Yeah.
And Preston, though, are starting to put a bit of a run together as they can do.
They're very good away. Preston are very good away.
very good away, can't win at home. So that's what they lost home the weekend. They'd won away to Brentford, won away to QPR. And I was watching there, I was looking at some of the Preston comments last night after the game from the fans and that, and they were saying it would be great if we could just play all our games away from home.
Yeah.
For some reason they can't seem to play at home this season, but they can't seem to lose away from home. So who knows? Who knows what'll happen with Preston this season? They're always that team that could win 10 in a row and then lose the next 6. So
That's it. Exactly.
one of those teams. They need to be a bit more consistent. Sheffield Wednesday against Brentford. Boney, who was a massive surprise, he was even starting after the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
I think even Brentford were even surprised that he came back.
Yeah.
2 more goals for him. Patterson for Wednesday with a wonderful header as well. Brentford looked really good going forward in the game. Really, I was impressed with them.
Scored 4 or 5 easily.
Yeah, and Tony, again, though, 3 games in a row now, he's scored 2 goals. Will he ever get a hat-trick?
He was so close yesterday. He was so close. He was so close last night.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's 7 goals in his last 4 games.
Yeah. And even just his all-round play yesterday was.
He's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And he has, like, I don't know how Brentford do it, but I mean, I know it's they put so much on this statistics and all that about the players rather than, how well they seem to look. Yeah. It's more on the chances they take, which is why they went for Tony, because there must have been something in his stats that showed them that he was going to be able to do this, because he just looks so like Ollie Watkins last season that when he's through on goal, you just think it's in the back of the net. Yeah. There's no doubt that he's going to score a goal.
Yeah,
and it's amazing that the way they do that, and teams are kind of playing catch up a little bit with Brentford. And you look at the manager as well, and they were talking about this a bit last night in the game as well, that I think in his first 10 games, I think it was his 50th game last night or something, I think he lost 8 of his first 10 games in charge of Brentford. And they drew 1 and won 1, I think, in his first 10 matches. Yeah. They've only lost 6 games since then under him.
Yeah.
And some of them were at the end of last season. So there's something about them. And if you look at the guy he replaced, he's not doing too bad at Aston Villa either.
Yeah.
Good statistics. Like, as you said, like Ivan Toney, lads, he's a serious player. Like, he's close to 100 goals in the English Football League, and he's only 23. Well, 24, I should say, sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Even with Northampton, Peterborough, he's close to 100 goals, like, which is an incredible stat. And
he is such a handful. He really is.
Yeah.
But they couldn't kill the game off, which they'll probably be worried about a little bit. De Silva, again, had one of those games where he's a bit hot and cold in it. There was a few times he probably could have picked out Tony, but didn't.
Yeah.
Seems like the final ball forward, maybe missing Benarama a little bit in those moments.
Yeah, big time.
And in terms of Sheffield Wednesday, they were always in the game. They never really gave up. Very impressed with them. I mean, can they pull off the great escape? I mean, they're looking really good.
They could, if they keep going the way they're going, definitely.
Yeah, I think, is it Luton they have at the weekend? I don't know who they're playing at the weekend. I'll have a look ahead there. Yeah, they're home to Luton at the weekend.
Yeah,
I think they could win as well, So in a game that probably we didn't expect goals to be in, Stoke 2, Barnsley 2.
Yeah.
Simons and Fraser twice put Barnsley in front. Campbell and Smith with the equalisers for Stoke. Got to play the last half an hour, 10 men after Collins got sent off. An off the ball incident. Didn't quite see it. Looked like maybe an elbow to the face.
As you do.
Yeah, didn't quite see it. Thought it was off the ball, and as is the case, sometimes in the Championship, you don't get to see very many replays or close-ups of what actually happened.
Yeah, even the guys on the show their quests didn't know what happened. They actually didn't know what happened.
Can only suspect it was an elbow or something. Yeah. The referee saw something because he had no doubt he sent off. And to be fair, I don't think the player had too many complaints himself, so he obviously knew he'd done something.
Knew he did something wrong, yeah.
So Barnsley, I suppose, Stoke have to be happy enough with a point, even though they kind of dominated the game probably up until sending off. But twice they had to come from behind after Barnsley hit them a little bit on the break. But last half hour, Barnsley were kind of on top, even though Stoke probably still had the best chance of the game.
Yeah.
But a draw, decent result for both teams, I suppose.
Yeah, Barnsley are really, really impressing me the last 3 or 4 games. Yeah, I actually thought they were screwed.
Yeah, unbeaten since the manager left, since Gruber left.
And their forward was scoring, which is another weird thing.
Yeah, which is a big thing as well, which is very good, in fact.
Yeah.
So they climb out of relegation as well. They move ahead at Derby.
Yeah.
On goal difference, albeit 3 draws for Barnsley though.
Big Mick will come. Big Mick is coming.
Big Mick is coming.
If they can just get a couple of wins on the board though, they haven't won yet this season.
Yeah.
3 draws. They seem to be draw specialists. And then a game last night that to finish up the weekend's act or the midweek action was one that was a classic case of one team taking their chances, the other team not taking the millions they had.
My favourite game.
3, Blackburn Rovers 1. Crazy, wasn't it? Pedro again though, having a great start.
5-5.
Yeah, Pedro having a great start for Watford, cleverly, and Elinahan OG. Brereton got a goal for Blackburn, which is unbelievable. Armstrong missed a penalty, which was a bit unlike him. Blackburn, I just don't know how they lost this one 3-1 because they must have had 4 times the chances Watford did.
Yeah, and to keep Ben Foster was unbelievable.
I think Watford had 4 shots on target and scored 3 goals.
Yeah, man.
I think Blackburn had over 20 shots, not all on target, and only got the 1.
Yeah.
So it's just the way it is in this division. If you don't take your chances, you're in trouble.
And Harvey Elliott started as well for Blackburn.
He looked good, lads. He looked very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Watford gave the ball away a lot.
Yeah.
Sarr played pretty well, actually. Sarr started last night, played well, had a hand in at least one of the goals.
Yeah.
He looks like he's just ready to get his head down and at least until January play away for them.
He's getting fit for his Liverpool move.
That's it. That's it is. So Blackburn again, though Blackburn are in a bit of a slump at the moment. Haven't started so well.
Yeah. Linehan used to play for Cork City, didn't he?
Who?
Different guy, I think.
No, that was Brian. Yeah, Brian played a Hull and he retired there.
Retired early. Watford, though, Watford flying it again this season, and they have to be up there now amongst one of the favourites as well because they have started so well.
Yeah.
So we'll go quickly through these. Goal of the games.
I actually say Reading.
Reading for you?
Yeah. And a special mention to the Coventry goal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the Coventry goal. All right, Jordan's goal.
Yeah.
Simply great goal.
Yeah.
It was. That would have been one of mine too. But I'm going to give it to the guy we just talked about. Brereton at Blackburn. The way he took the ball down his chest and volleyed it in was sensational. Performance of the week, the best player for you?
Best player, Tony.
Tony?
Yeah, Ivan Tony, without a doubt. 2 goals, plus a hat-trick, on form, has to get it.
Yeah, I think Tony as well. I'm giving it to him twice in a row now. So maybe he'll get the hat-trick of me thinking he's the best player in the games if he can't score an actual hat-trick. But a few other players obviously played very well in those games as well. And what about the team performance?
Millwall, yeah.
Yeah, Milwall, I think, for me, were so impressive.
Yeah.
And the shock? If there was a shock?
Blackburn losing 3-1, I think.
That was a bit of a shock. For me, I'm going to go with Middlesbrough winning away at Bristol City.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I suppose... Yeah, tricky one. I suppose the result, Watford, even though Watford are a great side, I'm going to say Watford winning 3-1.
Watford won as well, yeah. The scoreline. I mean, it was a bit of a shock. If you were to look at the stats, you'd say there's no way Watford won that game. So we're going to fly through these. Now, Friday night's game, Nottingham Forest Derby.
2-2.
2-0 Forest. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Forest win in that one. Saturday, Watford, Bournemouth.
Watford.
Yeah, Watford.
1-0.
2-1.
2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw on that one. Huddersfield home to Preston. Preston away from home.
A draw. 1-1.
A draw. 1-1.
2-0 to Huddersfield.
2-0 to Huddersfield. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Preston in that one because they're not playing at home. QPR home to Birmingham. Tough one.
I think QPR 1-0.
Yeah.
1-1.
1-1. Yeah, I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw on that one. And Norwich against Wycombe.
Norwich 2-0.
Do you know what? Wycombe 2-1.
Yeah, a sneaky suspicion Wycombe could win this one, but I'm still going to stick with Norwich to win 2-0. Reading home to Rotherham.
Again.
Reading 2-1. Reading 2-1.
1-1 for Jerry, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Reading to sneak it. I'll join Phil 2-1 there. Cardiff home to Middlesbrough. Two teams flying at the moment.
1-2.
2-2, yeah. 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw there. Sheffield Wednesday, home to Luton. We spoke about it briefly already.
3-0 Wednesday.
3-0 Wednesday. Oh, you're putting a hammer into poor old Luton.
Yeah,
I'm going to go for Wednesday to win it 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 as well, Steve. I like it.
Yeah, Bristol City, home to Swansea.
Good game.
Swansea 2-1. Swansea 2-1.
Yeah, you think Bristol City 2 defeats in a row?
Yeah.
3-1 Swansea.
3-1 Swansea. I'm going to go for probably a 1-1 draw there. Millwall home to Barnsley.
1-0 to Millwall.
Mick McCarthy derby.
1-0 Millwall.
1-0 Millwall.
Mick McCarthy to absorb the game. Barnsley to win 2-0.
2-0 to Barnsley. I'm going to go for Millwall to win that one 2-1. Coventry home to Blackburn.
Great game.
Coventry 2-1. Coventry 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Blackburn to win it 2-1. I'll go to reverse.
Yeah, I was 2-1 Blackburn as well. Definitely.
Stoke home to Brentford.
Cracker.
Brentford 2-1.
2-1 to Brentford, yeah. Tony with 2.
Yeah. Well, he'll get 1.
2-0 to Stoke.
2-0 to Stoke, yeah. I'm going to go for Brentford to win this one 3-2. Loads of goals and Tony to finally get his hat-trick. So there we go, guys. So looking forward to the weekend games.
Bring it on. Can't wait.
I suppose Friday night has to be the pick of the games, the big derby.
Yeah. It's going to be a classic. I think it's all there for the taking.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So we'll be back with you again after the weekend games. I don't think there's any on Sunday this week, so we will have that podcast out for you on Monday.
Yeah.
So until then, guys, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.